Hi everyone! Okay, let's see if I can do this in under an hour. We have to try out and test the new Venus Marble Cat Series eyeshadow palette. I purchased this in the American Shorthair version. So they have a picture on the back here. This is what the inside should look like. Shade-wise, I'll be honest, this one did not speak to me the most. Actually, the one with the orange cat on the cover, I forgot what it's called, but the colors in that one spoke to me the most. However, that palette was sold out when I got to the store, and also I just don't really vibe with ginger cats. In all honesty, I probably would have picked this one up anyway, even if they did have all of them in stock, because hello, this one reminds me of Maxine. Wait, I wonder if Maxine is an American Shorthair then. I feel like no, because I was looking at pictures of them online and I feel like their fur pattern is a little bit more bold and pronounced than Maxine's, but at the same time it's like very similar. So maybe she is, maybe she's not. In any case, I mean, we know that this modeling gig should have gone to her. Like, hello, who is this rando cat? Okay, so Venus Marble, this is a relatively new Chinese brand. I remember seeing their 9-pan palettes that came out last year. I don't know if that was their very first launch ever, but it was certainly the first one that I saw available in Japan. I mean, they looked nice and all, but I think that at that point I was just very sick of, or I had had my fill of those 9-pan style palettes. I feel like that format was popularized by Huda Beauty, like the 9 square pans. Actually, I have no idea, but the point is that I was just very bored with that whole format overall, so I didn't want to bite on this brand back then. But anyway, this one was too cute to pass up. It does say that this brand is cruelty-free, so I'm wondering how that works. Because if I remember correctly, technically you can produce makeup in China that's not tested on animals, but you're just not allowed to sell it over in China. So if this is cruelty-free, that means that this brand is not actually sold in China, but it's sold in other areas like Japan or I don't know where else. Although it says VM USA Cosmetics Limited. So is this an American brand? I'm sorry, I really didn't do any research on this, as you can clearly see. Let's just get started and have a look at the palette. So this is what the inside looks like. There's a plastic protector thing in here that's taped at the top. So we'll just pull that off. Kind of nice that they added the one piece of tape to hold it in place. I do think this is a pretty combination, but if you know me, you know that I find these two matte shades to be just a tad too light. I feel like there's nothing in here that can really help me define my crease as much as I normally like to. Yeah, the orange tabby palette was definitely more contrasted, but anyway, let's go ahead and swatch. The construction outside is deafening. Can you hear that? I am so sorry, but they're doing crane work today apparently. Oh no no no, this top coat is no bueno. Sorry, I have to stop the swatching session. Look at this. Okay, so I was pressing really hard in here to try and pick up some product. It's not picking up, by the way. It's just doing that thin top coat hard pan thing that they all do. Drives me crazy. But look, if I press too hard, this entire chunk of product wants to come out. What the effing crap? Okay, we're just gonna leave that one alone. God, I hate this type of formula so much. And I'm acting like I'm surprised, but I'm not, because obviously I swatched this in stores before purchasing, but you always hope that it's gonna magically be different when you get home. It's not. Okay, this next one I was really impressed by though. This chunky marbly formula, which I feel like is the claim to fame of this entire brand. This one is actually like super creamy. Yeah, see, because this one has definitely more of a thicker silicone base. Ooh, that's so pretty. It's like foiled and creamy. Let's do the last brown one. I think I went out of order. Yeah, I went out of order by accident. Whoops. Well, anyway, you guys know which shadow is which. Okay, straight away I can tell you that I am not a huge fan of this matte formula. I don't like it when mattes have a super smooth texture like these do. I prefer a more powdery matte formula because I find that those just tend to give you more pigmentation on the whole. With the smoother matte formula, it's kind of the same issue as these really like tightly packed together top coat shadows, I feel like you can never get more than a thin layer of product, which is fine if that's what your preference is. Like, as long as the coat of color is even, I feel like you can't very well say that it's bad quality. At that point, it just comes down to preference. But yeah, for me personally, I just prefer a much more pigmented matte formula. I don't mind if it's powdery because you can just wipe that away. As long as the color payoff is there, you know, I can build it up or shear it down to my liking. Okay, I'm trying not to judge like too preemptively, but I can already tell that I am going to be very underwhelmed by the formula in this palette. Oh, wait a minute now.
No. Well,
that's looking pretty good with the P. Louise base. But see, if you don't have the P. Louise base, how's it gonna look? Wow, okay, I think I meant to put the yellow, like the lighter yellow shade in the corner, but I wasn't thinking, so I guess we'll just go with this. Now we have mustard on the inner corner.
Mustard? Don't let's be silly. Lemon, that's different.
And flipping the same brush over, I will just pat some yellow on top. Actually, this might work out better than what I originally had planned. Okay, you know what? I might have to eat my words about what I said about the mattes like 2 seconds ago. This is actually not bad at all. I mean, again, they're not the most pigmented mattes you'll ever come across, but the coloring is even, which I personally think is the most important criteria, and they blend well together. They really do. The light yellow is a little chalky, but that's okay. We can see I'm just layering it up here. It looks fine, right? Like, it's noticeable. Okay. See, now how do I even incorporate this blue into this look? It's like mid-toned, so it's not light enough to be the center highlight, but it's not deep enough to really define the edges. Okay, that is not wanting to go on with a brush. I love the way that the shadow swatches, but it's a little tricky with the eyelid application because there's like 2 layers that you have to make sure to pick up. You have to get that base blue layer as well as the shimmers on top. When I use my brush, I can only manage to deposit the shimmers onto my lids, but there we go. It's like building up now. I really like this texture. This is not something that you see often in Japanese eyeshadows. Make sure you're careful when you use a brush. See, this one has a tendency to shift around and lift up too. Now I'm bringing that down onto my lower lash line with the tiniest little detail brush. This is from a budget Do Care set. And it's very stiff. I'm actually not a fan of this brush. I'm gonna clean this up later. But it does kind of help me pack on those foiled glitter particles. Okay, let's just add this upper left top coat onto the center first. Pat that on there. See, I don't really understand why they included both of these shimmer shades in here. To me, they seem very, very similar. I know they're, the formulas are slightly different, but the shades are very similar. Well, I guess this one's a little more lighter and silver-esque. Yeah, it is noticeable. This is actually giving me such 90s eyeshadow vibes. You know how they stayed doing that metallic gritty blue look? I'm kind of low-key living for it. Okay, I'm going to go put on the finishing touches and I'll be right back. Hey! So this is the final look. I added more layers onto my eyes. Sorry, I couldn't catch that footage on camera because I literally needed to stand like this far away from my bathroom mirror and concentrate. But yeah, you can see I added more layers of the mustard orange as well as the blue marble shade. As usual, I feel like the eyelashes and eyeliner are making this look more put together than it actually is. Yeah, I'm still slightly confused about how to use this palette and like how to combine all the different shades together in a harmonious way. Right now, it kind of looks like two completely different eyeshadow looks meshed together. It's like I had a basic, you know, mild yellow golden look underneath and I spilled liquid metal over it or something, which is kind of cool. I feel like the final result looks more mellow than you would expect for what it is. Like you have this blue and silver which contrasts very strongly with the yellow and mustard, but somehow, even though I feel like I layered them on as heavily as possible, it still came out looking like pretty subtle and mild, but party ready, I guess. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to play with this a little more. I do feel like I will get a decent amount of use out of this because it's just so intriguing. The mattes could definitely be more pigmented, as I've said 1,000 times already, but I don't know, like, I just think it's a very interesting, fun combination of mattes and shimmer shades and this marble shade, which is almost a mirror-like effect when you really layer it up. The marble shade and formula is definitely like the star of this entire palette, as well as the entire line, judging by the fact that it actually has the word marble in its brand name. If they released an entire line of singles of just this marble formula, I would probably be very interested in that. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I am living for the 90s fantasy that this is giving me though, and I feel like it actually matches the vibes of the dress I have on today very well. This is like a crushed velvet material, and I have on the signature, you know, 90s blue metallic, trying to be blue but actually just turning out looking silver eyeshadow. I feel like I'm ready to walk into a party from the movie Clueless, you know? It's cute. Is it worth the price point? I mean, no. How many times have you ever heard me say that something is worth the actual price this year? I can't even remember off the top of my head a single product that I said that for. Probably the Be Idol eyeshadow quad is one of them, and the Tsuya Puru lipstick. But yeah, everything is overpriced for the most part. Drugstore, high-end. Nothing's really worth it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Except, you know what is worth it though? You. If you enjoyed this video, then I highly suggest you click on one or two of the videos that I'm going to feature over here. You can just go ahead and subscribe to while you're at it.